Hey, so as many of you who seen last week's video of Mondays Matter, I actually wasn't going to drop a Mondays Matter video this week. I was going to drop some other content. I decided to hold off on that content and drop it maybe in a few days or so and talk about some other pressing things. We have people that are very alarmed. There's a lot of fear. There's a lot of anxiety right now circulating, and I get it. You know, our world is facing a global pandemic right now, which is actually what pandemic means, but for those of you who don't know, pandemic refers to a disease, so like this virus, spreading over multiple countries, multiple continents, or the whole world. In the midst of that, there is a lot of things going on. Some things I find pretty alarming, which is why I wanted to add a little bit of truth, a little bit of positivity, and also talk about those things. So let's talk about it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the X-Villain Hideout. My name is Ghost. If you guys have never been here before, I'm so glad you guys are here. This is Mondays Matter episode 16. Mondays Matter is a series I started to kind of give Monday a different perspective. I know a lot of people don't like Mondays, and I hear about it all the time, and there's gonna be people in the comments like, no, I love Mondays. Well, you're one of the exceptions. Most people only love Fridays, and Mondays always have to suck, and I get it. That's when you start work. There's a lot of things that start on Monday, school and other things where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want Monday to be here. But how I see it is I made this series so that you guys can know that Monday is just another day. Monday is another day, another opportunity to do something amazing, to do something that you've always wanted to do, or to just chill and not worry about anything else but Monday, to be present. And so hopefully after you watch some of the videos in this series, which I will have down below and in a playlist for you guys can possibly think about how Monday could actually be one of the best days of your life. This is mainly a channel where we talk about the games we play, the lives we live, and how we can look for ways to help each other be better than we were the day before. Better than yesterday is the motto, one stream at a time, one day at a time. If you guys feel like you vibe with that type of content and you want to see more videos like this, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. And then if you feel like this video has given you any type of value, make sure you like the video because it goes a long way for the channel. But enough about all that. Let's get into the video. The first thing I want to do is I want to give a little disclaimer about the virus for those of you who don't really have too much information on what's going on. I'm not going to really dive deep. I am not a medical professional. I'm just going to say that right off the bat. I am not a global health expert. I am here simply giving you simple facts that you guys can fact check, that you can look up. If you weren't only on Facebook, you guys could see that there is more to it than a lot of the misinformation. And that's what's the most frustrating thing is social media and where the internet's now is there can literally be anything posted at any point in time, and as long as it looks like it's the truth, people take it to be the truth, and then it's shared a million times, and by that point there's people who think this is the actual truth when really it's really far from that truth. So we're gonna talk about that. So this is a virus that we started to see pop up last December, originating out of Wuhan, China. I think it either originated from most likely a bat, is where Johns Hopkins University thinks that that's where it came from. There's no very tangible, like this is 100% where it came from, but zoonotic, meaning that it's mutated from transferring from animal to animal to human, and now it's human to human, which is why this is spreading so quickly. Or it could have been a snake. That's a couple other sources, but most of it point to coming from a bat. Some of the symptoms of this coronavirus, labeled now as Covid-19 or SARS-CoV-2 after SARS-CoV-1, which we've seen in 2003, which is another coronavirus. And I think there's something that I just want to say right off the bat. The coronavirus is a family of viruses, but the name at the top, like the family name, kind of like my last name is my last name, that would be kind of like how this is presented. So coronaviruses include like the common cold, they include SARS, MERS, and some other ones. So right now this has become the 7th of the coronaviruses that is now transferring from human to human. And I see a lot of posts of people saying like, you know, on the back of Lysol it says kills coronavirus. People knew about this all along. There's all these conspiracy theories about when they see the word coronavirus, but what they don't understand is coronavirus is a family of different viruses. Like, so it's not the coronavirus, it's a coronavirus. Does that make sense? With that out of the way, there are signs and symptoms that are different than the flu, that are different than the common cold, and some of them are the same, but some of them are different. And so what this virus does is it attacks your lungs. It is a respiratory infection, and it makes it very hard for you to breathe, gives you shortness of breath. People are saying that, they have a dry cough before, not a wet cough, that people are having a fever is pretty much in everyone that has this. Some people experience diarrhea. So if you for sure have any of these symptoms, make sure that not only are you guys quarantining yourself, which we're going to talk about in a little bit, but make sure that you are seeking professional health care. And most likely they're going to test you. And I know a lot of people are saying like, oh my gosh, I can't get tested. I have to go through this, I have to go through that. Yes, we need to be more aggressive with testing in the United States, but we are working on it. And by we, I mean as us as a nation, because I consider myself part of this nation and I think we're all in this together. So I'm gonna say we, like I said, I'm not a health professional, but we're working on, getting tests out to all of us so that we can get more situational awareness on who is actually sick and where there's pockets of more infections than less infections, and then make it easier for the health professionals to assess what actually needs to be done and what next step to take. I don't want to talk about the mortality rate. Couple reasons. One, because like I said, I don't really want to get into the specifics of numbers. You can look those up. And the truth is the numbers are argued about right now. Like nobody is really agreeing on numbers because I don't think that there's accurate numbers out there yet. First of all, this is just happening. This is a novel coronavirus, which means new. So it's a brand new to everybody. And people are constantly comparing it to influenza. It's like, well, you can't really do that because we don't have official numbers from this, but we have official numbers from influenza because it's been around for a long time. We've been dealing with it for a long time. We know how to deal with it. And yes, people still die from influenza, a lot more than you think, but we don't really have all the numbers we need. Like for instance, we're gonna start to see numbers increase in the United States as soon as people start getting tested. Why? Because a lot more people have it in the United States that just haven't been tested. So the numbers are low, but the numbers are actually higher. Does that make sense? So when we start to see these numbers rise, it's not that overnight 100,000 people all of a sudden have COVID-19. It's that maybe we did 300,000 tests and 100,000 of those tests have COVID-19. Now, these are massive numbers. I'm just literally throwing random numbers out there. Don't take these numbers and be like, well, Ghost said that 100,000 people have in the United States. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when we see these numbers rise, which we will, don't be alarmed. Just know that this is better for us because we get to get a bigger picture on what's actually happening on our soil. One number that is going back and forth is about 82 to 90% of cases have known to be very mild. I mean, I've been hearing stories about people who have it and are testing positive and literally have no symptoms. And then there is a smaller number that are a little bit more critical, not necessarily dying from it, but in a more critical state. And then there's people who have died from it. And a lot of this includes the elderly, people with compromised immune systems, whether that's diabetes, whether that is cancer, whether that is immunodeficiency diseases. There's all kinds of different reasons why someone might be at risk, but mainly it's been, sadly, the elderly who have been the most affected, and the youth have been the least amount of affected. This is kind of like a blessing in this storm, is that children are literally not being affected by this. There is many children who have been tested positive for COVID-19 that are either showing no symptoms at all and playing just like every single day, or the cases are very, very mild. So there's a couple things that are wrong with this. The positive thing is the kids are being pretty much untouched. The negative thing about this is they're asymptomatic, which means they're not showing symptoms, so we don't know that they have it. So they're spreading it when they go visit grandma and grandpa. They're spreading it when they go visit aunt and uncle with compromised immune systems. They're spreading it and we just don't know about it, and that's not a good thing. That's another reason why we should be quarantining, is for the reason that it's being spread before people have symptoms. Some symptoms aren't even showing up for 10 days and people are going from to and fro, working, business as usual, they're at the gym, they're traveling, and who knows how many people that these people are affecting before the signs and symptoms come. Then they get tested, then they're positive, and now we have to backtrack. We're like, oh my gosh, who are all the people I had in contact? Probably a lot. And that's another reason why this is very important. So you might be thinking to yourself right now as I'm talking, dude, I'm young, I'm healthy, I'm strong, I'm not worried about it. This is why you should be worried about it. There is so many people in our nation that are worried about it and that can't fight the virus the same way as you. It might be nothing for you. You literally might get the virus and be chilling at your house, but stay at your house because you need to do this to fight for the people who literally can't fight for themselves. We need to protect our elderly. We need to protect our people in our nation with compromised immune systems, people that are at high risk, have anything to do with lungs, so maybe long-time smokers, emphysema, other prior conditions having to do with your lungs. There's a lot of other people who are also at risk. Maybe severe asthma, maybe diabetes, and I'm not saying this to scare anybody. What I'm saying this is because I'm trying to show you a bigger picture. I see way too much joking on social media like, I'm young, I got this, drinking Corona beers, and like, dude, send the virus my way. And then I see people posting pictures like, just out and about in huge crowds of people when they know they probably should be at home, but in their minds they're like, dude, I'm chilling. I'm not affected by it. My kids aren't affected by it. But you're not thinking about all the people who will be affected by it, and it's wrong. And I think we need a mindset change. I think we need to change our perspective into looking at this like a nation. We are going through this thing together. And what if it was flipped? What if the older generation was the ones chilling and we were the ones getting severely attacked by this? We need to think about that. We need to put ourselves in each other's shoes, use empathy, use compassion, use love, and use kindness when we're making decisions based on these next couple weeks. The other thing I want to talk about is misinformation. There is so much misinformation. I am so sick of reading stuff on Twitter and Facebook that is not true. You guys, if they are not a doctor, if they are not a nurse, if they are not a global health expert, if they don't have any idea what they're talking about, you don't need to listen to them. And the stuff that I'm saying right now is something that you can easily fact check, and I'm being very simple. I'm being very shallow in what I'm saying on purpose. I'm not trying to go super deep and talk about the numbers, even if I know the numbers from hearing it from somebody else, because that's not my place. That's not who I am. I'm not a doctor, And so we need to make sure that we're listening to people who have the authority to talk about these things, and not just listen to your friend Joe who watched a conspiracy theory YouTube video and is spewing all of this other stuff, and then all of a sudden you take what Joe said and you put it on your Facebook. Or even worse, what I'm seeing people doing is making websites, making them look like professional websites, and posting a bunch of trash, and then people are reposting the website, and people are like, oh, it's a website, it's completely professional, this must be true. And then it spread like a wildfire, and now everyone thinks all of this weird things about the virus that's completely not true. So I'm actually going to, in the description below, link some videos for you guys so that you can get some real information on how this is affecting our nation and what's actually happening. So the other thing is I would recommend is maybe get off of Facebook for a little bit, or maybe get off of Twitter for a little bit and pay attention to what the CDC is saying and what WHO is saying, the World Health Organization, because that is where, if anywhere, you should be realizing they're giving the proper and accurate information that we need to be adhering to and listening to. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is something that is very disheartening, and when I said earlier in the video that I found things that were alarming, is being on social media and in general, seeing how the Asian community has been affected by this. You guys need to understand something, and you need to understand it quickly. They're going through the same thing we are going through, except worse, because they are actually scared to go out and get things for their family in the midst of a crisis where a lot of people are freaked out, and it's jacked up, and it's wrong. And seeing them get attacked, seeing them be yelled at, stolen from, there's so many things happening because people are ignorant, and they think that because it started in China, that all of a sudden every single Asian person, Chinese, Japanese, any type of Asian at all, is a carrier of the virus. That literally, that's called racism. That's not called anything else. You need to think about, it could have started anywhere. This could have started in Ireland, this could have started in Canada, it could have started in the United States, but it didn't. So you need to put yourself in their shoes and realize, like, one, maybe go buy some of your groceries from the Asian supermarkets in your area. I guarantee they're fully stocked because of how people are reacting. It's just ridiculous. I was seeing multiple posts about seeing things that were just completely out of line, and it made me feel really heartbroken because, like, we're all nervous, dude. Like, we're all going through something right now, and racism and bigotry is ugly. Like, it's never okay to treat people like this. Like, I want you guys to understand, like, we are in this together. That is how we get through things as a nation, as a world, is looking at each other like family and taking care of each other. That's why I'm so frustrated with what's happening, because I see people fending for themselves and being selfish, and it's every man for themselves. Buy up all the toilet paper even though you don't need it. Buy up all the canned goods even though you don't need it. When there's, like, these stores, like, what happened to shopping civilly and thinking about other people? Like, there's babies who don't have wipes or medicine when they actually need it. There's moms who have to sell breast milk because people can't get formula. There's all of these things happen. Like, there's a dude who literally rented a U-Haul. He drove across 3 states, cleared out every single store, and got 18,000 bottles of hand sanitizer to sell at a profit. This is the type of stuff that is happening now. Is there positive stuff? Yes, there's positive stuff. There's people paying for each other's rent. There's people donating things that they have extra of. There's people bringing groceries to older people. There's people bringing groceries to the Asian community. And I don't want to say like there's nothing good happening, but the ugly is really ugly. And it's frustrating because I'm a part of this nation, and it makes me feel, you know, like I have like a righteous anger, and I'm just like, dude, how did we get here? Like, all of a sudden we go through one crisis and we just fall apart? Like, we are an amazing, great, strong nation of conquerors. We have been through so many things, and not just as a nation, as a world. We are so resilient by doing things together. I challenge you to look up some of the things that we've done together and realize this is another one of those things. We need to be helping our elderly. We need to be keeping a mind and helping our Asian community, and we really need to step it up. I get it. I'm in the same boat. Have I felt overwhelmed multiple times this week? Yeah, I have. Because, well, first of all, because this social media craze that every 5 seconds something crazy is happening is just very fear-inducing and anxiety-driven. It's not really fun for anybody, even if you know the facts, even if you know what's going on. When there's a million people all saying something that's not true, it starts to get in your head where you're like, dude, am I tripping? Like, is this the truth or is it not the truth? How are we gonna get through this time? With love, with compassion, with kindness, with patience, with perseverance, with empathy, and together. We're gonna get through this. Stay in your houses. Wash your hands, which you should be already doing anyway. Stop being dirty. Wash your hands, stay in your houses, and this is the thing. We don't need the government to force us into our houses. We are the people. We do things together. We should be able to look at what's happening and say, check it out, dude. The best option for everybody right now is to isolate themselves so that the people who can't fight for themselves, this is our way of fighting for them. Making sure that they are the least likely to get infected by this. Is it worth doing your daily activities? No, it's not. Give them up for a couple weeks, dude. Just chill out. We need to make sure that we are not overwhelming our healthcare system by not isolating ourselves, and to be thinking about other people. Do something new. Spend time with your family. Now, to respond to my thumbnail, is it too late? No, of course it's not. It's not even close. It's never too late to be kind, to love, to be compassionate. It's never too late for those things. And I'm actually gonna come out with another video talking about ideas of what you guys can do in this time where we are stuck at home, maybe not working, maybe you are just sitting at home like, dude, I don't want to be bored, and you guys are just letting your thoughts get to you. So I have a couple ideas of some things that will make not the time fly by, but make the time valuable. I believe in you guys. We are better than this. We've been through worse before. Maybe not us in our personal lifetimes, but lifetimes that were in front of us have been through more. And we got this. I know we do. I believe in you guys to do the right thing. Don't get caught up in all of the drama about this. Just love more. Remember that kindness always wins. And keep others in your thoughts and in your prayers during this time. And really find something to reground yourself. Get a different perspective. And I will definitely be seeing you guys on the other side of this. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for coming by and watching another video. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about the video, and maybe give me some ideas on what you guys are gonna do when you're quarantined and you're chilling at home with your family and friends, or if you're by yourself, what you're gonna be doing. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, and if you like the content, give it a like. I really do appreciate you guys. So really quickly, as I'm editing this video, I totally forgot to tell you guys about the other videos I'm gonna link. One of them is a podcast by my best friend and brother, and then who is also co-hosting my longtime best friend and now cousin-in-law, who is a doctor. We have Dr. Andrew Mamalis and Isaiah Saldivar talking about the coronavirus and faith. So if that is your guys' thing, it's an amazing video. I really do recommend it to everybody, whether you believe in God or not. I really think it's an amazing video covering a lot of different things in the spiritual realm and in the physical realm. And then the other videos are a little bit more science-based. Doctors and virologists talking about what's going on with the coronavirus and doing weekly updates. And then the last video I'm gonna post is more of a lighthearted approach, but Dr. Mike from YouTube does amazing content all the time. He is always putting out very good videos, and so I wanna link his because it's a little bit more lighthearted, but he's also fact-checking and debunking a lot of the misinformation that's happening. So all of those will be down in the description below. You guys are very blessed. I hope you guys are very safe. Hope you have an amazing night or day, depending on where you're at in the world. And I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.